And then Judas, then having received the Roman cohort and the officers from the chief priests and the Pharisees, came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. And so Judas, he gathers the Jewish leadership and the Roman officials and takes them to the garden. But note, what did they bring with them? They brought weapons. Now, you only bring weapons when you are expecting a fight. And the individuals who came for Jesus, they were potentially expecting a fight or resistance from Jesus and the disciples. But then Jesus, as he sees the crowd coming towards them, note what he does at verse 4. And so Jesus, knowing all things that were coming upon him, went forth and said to them, "Whom do you seek?" Now, the phrase Jesus knows is one of the favorite things that John notes about the Savior within this fourth gospel. On at least 5 occasions within the Gospel of John, the writer notes how Jesus knew and how Jesus knew all things. Jesus knew all the things that were going to happen to him leading up to the crucifixion. He had not only told the disciples about his betrayal, but Jesus told them about his actual death and his return to the Father. If you look at, John chapter 11 all the way to this present chapter that we're looking at, Jesus has spoken about what is going to happen to him. And so Jesus ultimately knew these things because he is God in the flesh. He is Alpha and Omega. He is the beginning and end. He knows all things from point A to point Z. And so everything that Jesus spoke, he often stated, because he knew what was going to happen. And that information also was being delivered to him from the Father as well. Jesus was providing truth from first-hand knowledge. Remember, oftentimes Jesus said, "What I speak that from the Father." And yes, Jesus is God, but because he is receiving and delivering information directly from the Father, this information and this knowledge, it was truthful and authoritative. And so Jesus absolutely knew the desires of the group that came that evening. He knew without a doubt the motive and the intent of the individuals who rolled up to the garden. And so Jesus, knowing their intent, why the mob came, he asked them, "Who are you seeking?" Now, it's so critical that we understand, from a contextual standpoint, what is being stated. Context is critical for us. And so the context of the statement is so important for us to understand. We need to understand what it is that Jesus is stating to this group. Whom are you seeking? Now, when we are seeking something or some things, there are many different contexts that apply. When we seek something, we could seek something to find something that, for example, is lost. When you were kids, you used to play a game called hide and seek. And so the individual who was the searcher, he would go looking for those who were hiding. And so that's one way to interpret the word to seek, is to find something that is lost. The other way, or another way to interpret it, is to inquire of something. You are seeking information, for example. And so if you're going to, a bank, or you're going to a place where you're trying to get information, you might inquire. And so you're seeking information. Another way of interpreting the word seek is to strive after or to follow. When you are seeking to follow the Lord, for example, you are striving to follow after him. But here's the other thing. To seek also means, or can also mean, to plot against or seek the life of someone. In that context, I think that's what Jesus is asking this group that is coming after him. Whom are you plotting against, and whose life are you seeking after?